dose of only cans, that's your only man. So sit back, relax, that's the only plan. Grab yourself a Guinness or Peroni, man. Welcome to the show, this is Only Cans. Cheers! Alright, lads. I had the mic up to my mouth there. If you're listening, not watching, trying to see, could you hear the gulps? Because I remember when I used to make the TikToks, when I used to make it the TikToks, all the kids would comment, "Your gulps are so loud." That was the point. Good one, Dara. Great start. Self-deprecation is so funny. Even worse start. Do I keep this in? This is the first take. I'm not doing any more takes. I'm just one take wonder this time. So whatever comes out of my mouth is the podcast. How are you, lads? Episode 6 of Only Cans. Only Cans. I suppose I never really said that. And you see, Killian kind of gives me a bit of shit about the Only Cans. I never really said that about the song, but sure, we can talk about that in a future podcast. The only thing is I've got messages saying they like it. I thought I would get messages being like, "Stay that song, you clown." I didn't get one. I got messages saying, "Love the song, you fucking should be a rapper." Trying to go up really hard. Did you hear that? Because I can check like the audio levels here to it when I record it, but it's not really going up when I go up like this. Can you hear this? No. One more time. No, I don't think you're gonna hear anything. Okay, great start. Really, really good start. 9 out of 10 start. So yeah, welcome back. Only Cans episode 6. Flying it, lads. This type of thing with this podcast I've just said, because apparently it's something that podcasts are the thing that people give up on most, the quickest. It's like some crazy stat, like 25% of podcasts it has to stay in. This is a one taker. 25% of podcasts stop. People give up after the first 2 episodes or something. So I'm past that, and I think was it 50% or something give up after the first 7 episodes. So I haven't gotten past that. So if I give up now, I'll be in that 50%, but I don't think I'm going to give up now, because I'm actually quite happy with the listens and the plays, downloads, whatever the fuck you're supposed to look at, but I'm pretty happy with them. So we're going to keep her lit. Let's just get to 100 episodes and then consider continuing or not. So Killian Sunderman, aka Killersundy, he is a gas cunt. A gas cunt. A gas cunt is what he is. He's a gas cunt. A gas cunt. He's a bit of a jack of all trades, our Killian. Just one of those guys that just when he talks, you have those friends, just when they talk, it's just like, yeah, they're funny. It's not even really, don't get me wrong, he says funny things. The words that come out of his mouth are funny. His sketches are funny. But like, you could just be having a normal conversation with him. You're like, this guy's just funny. Like, he just talks funny. In a good way, Killian. Love you. So he was doing a couple of the odd sketch and this and that. And then last year, basically, around the middle of summer, he started doing a few sketches about the government. Fuck the government. What? He started doing sketches about the government. Like, the main one I remember was the 2 lads. He does a lot of these, like, talking to himself kind of thing. And he's sitting across the table from himself, and the government is like, okay, so this is level 5, and I'm not even I'll just put it in here, because why would I try to be funny like Killian? Put it in here.
So we have 5 new levels. One level 1 to 4. So 5. This is just for clarity. We want to make sure people know what's going on. That are really easy to follow. 3, so 6. Each level has its own levels within the level. I think I have it here.
Then he did another one of like a Leo Varadkar one, which will be in the podcast, so no need to put it in here. So I'll keep talking. Then, yeah, the one I found very funny was the takeaway pint. Is like going to actually just put it in here.
A new one, just a quick one. Takeaway pints. But didn't you already take away pints? No, take away pints. Take away pints. Like pints have already been taken away. No, take away. You already know that. We already know that. You want to take away pints. No, they've been taken away already. You took them away. They've been taken away. Take away.
Also, Killian is in a band, man. I'm in a band, man. You should come check out my band. We're playing Friday night in fucking the Olympia. That's something Killian would definitely say. He's in a band called the Sleaze. Very suitable name because he looks like a big sleaze ball. But I mean that's a term of endearment, Killian, if you're listening. But I'm just saying the word like sleaze. Like if Killian clean shaved and had like nice clean hair, it wouldn't work if his band was called the Sleaze. So it works because Killian has that cool kind of hipster farmer like funky look. I don't know what you describe him as, but he's got his own style. He's a cool dude. I genuinely think he's like the way I thought of Killian, especially after the podcast. Like I suppose like a lot of guests I've had, a couple of the guests I've had, and then guests I will have. I feel like if you just kind of are like nicey, like, oh, how's your lockdown? Oh yes, oh yeah. Then they're just gonna match your kind of mood or whatever you're putting across. But Killian is the classic example of just total sound bastard. But then if you give him a little jab, he'll give you a fucking knockout back. And I love those types of people. Sound cunts, but if you have a little go at them in a funny way, they will have a go back twice as hard. And that's, for me, that's entertainment. That's a good podcast. Bit of bickering, like funny. So I'll shut up now, because this has been 7 minutes of an intro. Christ. One hit wonder here. One take wonder. So listen, lads, enjoy. Again, if you enjoy the podcast, plug, sell high, so buy low. Patreon.com/The Guinness Guru. Extra content, extra cans, $5 a month, blah, 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 fucking blah. What's right else I was supposed to say? Filibuster, what I think, filibuster, one take wonder, filibuster. No. Merch will be here in a couple of weeks, but I'm not going to go on about it because I don't have a definite date and I'm not going to get your hopes up. So, merch will be here soon. Patreon would be sound if you could do that and all. Anyways, this is Killersundy. Enjoy, lads. Sláinte you. I think I'm supposed to say that at the end. Enjoy, lads. Alright, lads. I've already done an intro or whatever, Killian, so you don't have to. I'm not going to do the typical, so tell the guys who you are, and then you're like, so yeah, Killian Sunderman, aka Killersundy, on all the socials. Killian, what's up, bud?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know. I listened to the intro of the last podcast you did. I didn't know you were a rapper.
Here we go. Straight in with it. Well, you know now, as a fellow musician, Killian, I thought you would appreciate that. So yeah, you know now I'm an international best-selling rapper, and it's out there. What did you?
It's good.
Anyone who doesn't know, Killian is also in a band. Every single fucking podcast you've done, it comes up around between 5 and 15 minutes in, and then you have to explain the whole thing. The band is called the Sleaze. Go look them up. Killian's the lead singer. The Sleaze. Look at the sleazy head in them. Goes perfect. But yeah, what you think of me tune?
I thought it was good. I was really surprised. You've got a nice kind of slow rhythm. It was cool.
Why were you surprised?
You weren't going to ask me to do I don't know. You didn't seem like a rapper style. I was like, I wasn't getting rapper vibes. But I mean, there you go. Watch out, Denise Chyla.
Just start spelling my name.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we better actually talk about something here, Killian. So, yeah, Killian, I want to introduce a new segment onto the podcast called Coffee Pints Sesh, my version of Fuck, Marry, Kill. So basically, I'm going to ask, I picked 3, you're, I know these days we're not really calling people like comedians, but I suppose we'll have to call you a comedian.
Thank you. You sound very reluctant about
that. I'll give you.
You haven't made me laugh.
Well, like, but the thing is, if I'm like fucking Tommy Tiernan or Des Bishop or someone, and you've been making sketches as long as I've been fucking, I don't even know what I'm trying to say there. Yeah. But you know what I mean. So it's like comedian is like a term that's being thrown around. But you're a pretty funny guy. I'll give you comedian, Killian. But I just went online and I just Googled Irish comedians. The only way now Google just gives you like the top people, search whatever. So Coffee Pint Sesh. I'm going to give you 3 names. One you're going to go for a coffee with. One you're going to go for a few casual pints with. Maybe, you know, like a Thursday night after work or something. 4 or 5.
Okay.
And then one you're just going to go on an absolute sesh with.
Okay.
And the comedians are Jason Byrne, Dylan Moran, and Tommy Tiernan. Go.
Ooh. Okay.
You're saying oof as if I didn't send you the thing before.
Well, you sent me it before, but I thought you said Coffee Pint Sesh. I have to pick 3 people of my own, and you had. I thought the ones that you'd written underneath were your choice.
Okay, well then, pick out of them 3.
No, I like this though. That's good. I'd say I'd like Thursday pints with Dylan Moore, and I'd say. Because he's a big drinker, but I imagine like after 4 or 5 pints he probably falls asleep. Or he seems like he, or even he's a wine drinker, isn't he? He's a wine drunk. So I imagine he'd fall asleep
with
after
no pints,
like 4 or 5 pints or something like that. Tommy Tiernan is someone who I probably like 5-6 years ago I probably would have said I'd like to go on the sesh with him, but I think he's in now recent times like he seems like someone who's just very good at talking and listening. And like, and just like a profound man who you'd have very good conversations with. So I'd probably have the coffee with Tommy, but he'd have to have decaf because he's already like hyper enough. And then Jason Byrne for the sesh, just because he's good fun, like he's a good fun guy. So that's how I'm doing it.
You put it well. Yeah, I was going to say Dylan Moran is the type of guy that like, I love him, but him with 0 pints seems like he's already had 6. So
he's got like his whole thing is he seems just like he's always has a glass of wine in his hand and he's constantly pissed. Like I can't imagine him like sober, just like getting up in the morning. I can't imagine Dylan Moran in the morning. I can only imagine
Irish,
from 6 p.m. onwards.
So Killian, I saw one of your videos and you're basically you're calling up your mate or something and you're like, oh, I've got this idea. You do it in your real Killersundy way that I can't even do an impression of, but you're I've got this idea, and then your mate is on the phone, and you're like, deck the balls, or that mightn't even be it. We're like, deck
it was.
It's like your mate has been like, all right, and it made me think. Do you ever have like you're a guy who writes? We say writes. It's questionable. You're a guy who makes comedy sketches. Do you ever get friends messaging you being like, Killian, man, I've got this great idea for a comedy sketch.
Yeah.
Gas, right? So your man goes in the pub and then he says this and he goes, no. And then you're just like, in the back of your head it's shite, but you're like, ever happen?
Humor. Yeah. I'm always having to humor. Yeah, it does happen. People, I don't know, sometimes like people just send you the weirdest ideas and go, here, this one's for free. This one's for free. You can have this. And they tell you some fucking idea. And you're like, okay, yeah, no, maybe I'll do that. Or like, some people would just be like, you should do a sketch on my mum. She's hilarious. And I'm like, all right.
With no context.
No context, you know. My dad is German, so his, you know, sense of humor, if he has one, is questionable. And he like gives me very, like, he gives you very broad things. He'd be like, oh, you should do something about school. And I'd be like, that's not really an idea. That's just classic, like a whole thing in the world. I was thinking on the way home, you should do something about school. It's so funny. I'm like, that's not.
Because like I get friends saying stuff to me, but I'm not. I don't do sketches, and sketches are just such a thing where like it'd be so impulsive. If something comes into your head, you'd be like, "Oh, this is gas. Who will I say this to? My friend Killian, who does sketches."
You did a good sketch. I thought your sketch about what was it? You go into the pub and you order a Guinness and it's $5.10 and you're like, that's a fucking joke. And then you go into the next pub and it's $4.90 and you're like, that's a fucking deal. It's like I've done that a million times. I've probably put out about 3 sketches ever. They've all done all right, but it's like no, they're good.
I don't have the brain to. I'm not really like I'm not saying you sit down and write scripts, but I'm not really like a script guy. Like I just kind of turn the camera on and start shiting on. But thank you.
It works.
Thanks for the critique. So now let's segue into, let's see what my talents are like, Killian. I'm gonna do. You seem like a guy who, like, you walk into like a drama club and everyone's on the stage doing improv, and it's like, you walk into a store and this happens. Go. You seem like a guy who'd be good at that.
Okay.
So we're gonna do some improv. I gave you a little bit of a heads up. I'm probably going to be terrible at this.
In the spirit of improv, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go. You know, I'm not gonna go and read too much into it. I think that can often ruin it as well. I did some improv like a couple of years ago, and used to live in New York. I managed to fit it in there. I used to live in New York, and I did some improv there. Where they're all like, it's like, where they're all like pros at it. Like New York is like the Premier League of it, and like, I if you try force things to be funny, it gets really it's like very hard. So I had two or three times where it was just awful, but I learned to we'll see how it goes, because my history of the improv is great, so we'll go.
You're gonna have to carry this, because I clearly am going to be electric. So what have I written down? You're the barman, and I come up and I'm basically like, I think this is a bad pint, because we've all been there, and those weirdos who are like, this is a bad pint. So 3, 2.
Okay, let's do it.
I hope this podcast makes sense. 3, 2, 1. How's it going?
How are you?
I think my pint's gone bad.
How would you know?
It tastes like shite. You served it to me.
What, were you drinking it?
No, I was eating it.
You're not supposed to. They're new pints.
What? Well, it tastes like shite. So are you going to give me a new one or what?
Not supposed to drink those pints.
Why? Why'd you serve it to me then?
They're new pints from. Are you the Guinness guru? No.
Why?
No gurus allowed. No gurus allowed in this bar. I have the sign on the door.
I can go wherever I please, actually.
Yeah, not in this bar though.
Yeah, but you're anti-guru. Like, I'm gonna come up with a guruism or something, but that's
not
right.
All the pubs in Dublin, we all talk about you. We know. We see you walking around. We see you walking around drinking the pints you're supposed to eat. We don't like it.
All right.
We don't like it at all.
Well, this is a bad point, and I'm going somewhere else. And fuck you.
You better be going somewhere else. I'm asking you to leave.
I'm already gone, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't sound like you're gone. It sounds like you're still in the fucking room.
I'm already outside.
Yeah, no need to raise your voice.
I'm outside. I'm speaking. I have to raise my voice because you're inside.
So no. Look, disagreements. No need to raise your voice.
And cut. Okay, that was average. But
Okay. Maybe after the second beer.
Yeah, let's school this one. So Killian, you, for lack of a better term, you sold out. You took the sponsorship, or whatever we're going to call it, with Carlsberg. You did your little sketch. Everyone knows Carlsberg tastes like absolute piss water. But it led me on. Oh no! I love Carlsberg. Oh no! It was lovely.
I didn't say anything. I'm saying nothing.
But on a slightly more serious note, it is something I've wanted to talk to someone like yourself about. Like these, and I know you'll take this the right way. You're probably the best person I've seen, and that's genuine. You're probably the best person I've seen at trying to make the sponsored posts funny. I know
Yeah.
some people just say, well, there's no way of making this funny. I'm just gonna go down the sort of normal route and just promote it. You do your best to make it funny, but I feel like there's this weird sort of Irish thing where you're kind of looking at it, and it could be brilliant, but the fact that you know the person is getting paid or whatever we're gonna call it, it's like you're just a bit like, I'm not laughing at that. That fucker's getting paid for that. Fucking. Yeah. So what do you think? Like, do you when you're making them, do you think, oh, this is tricky, or do you just say fuck it?
Well, the way it's, first of all, it's tricky from the get go because you're working with companies. So the way it works is you get creative control over what you make. Like they'll send you over a concept, and then you send back your ideas, your script or whatever. Usually with these, you kind of have to send them a script of the words and everything. And they, like, all the time, like all the best stuff, you might write like something that you're really happy with. Actually, this happens every time. You write something you're really happy with, and then you send it to them, and then they'll take out all the like funny bits and go, you can't, I don't think you can use that, that wouldn't be great.
Well, how is that creative control then?
But then you can go around it and you make your own funny things, you know, you make your funny things around it. And also a lot of the time, you know, when you just do what you want, and then they actually just go, yeah, that actually is funny or whatever. But then, yeah, so like, I suppose I found it difficult to make them funny, but I would find it even worse if I didn't try at least get some sort of humor into them, you know? Like there's been some SpawnCon, for lack of a better word, that I've made that I actually think it's funny sketch. And I think you're right. It's like, I was like, God, if this wasn't a sponsor content, I'd actually release it as a sketch. Like, but because it is, I don't think people will enjoy it as much. But I think that's fine, you know. People look at it and they, you know, if they don't want to see that kind of thing, they just scroll past it. And if they want to see something like that, I mean, you know, they're renting out my page or something like that. That's how it works. I don't know. I mean, it's something I've gotten over. Like when I first started doing it, I was very uncomfortable with the whole thing. But now I'm kind of over it. It's like, you know, you got to make money somehow, and there's avenues, and might as well use it for something. And everyone does it. Except you. You're a purist, but everyone else does it.
I think I had that attitude, all right. I've been like, no sponsor. And then, like, no more than yourself, you get to a point and you realize, like, I've started a Patreon, and I've no problem saying it. Well, I only started it like a week ago, but say there's only like 9 or 10 people on it, you know it's going to be a very slow grower. That's not going to really be a way of making money until there's a lot of podcasts out there and you have extra stuff to give, whatever. But yeah, the old SpawnCon is something that I haven't had much experience with it, but like the few things people have messaged and said, oh, this, and it's no mad money or anything, literally like 50 or 100 quid, and I've just been so no, I'm Mr. Authentic, but like, look, how the fuck you supposed to make money? Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I guess like my thing is like, I guess the more I can make money out of this, the more I can do this, and I think like I definitely want to do this more than I want to do other stuff like work related. So I mean that's the payoff, I guess. Is that you make these videos and no one pays for them at all. Like, you know, I'm making these and I put a lot more hours of work into my sketches than I do to sponsor content. Like I only do like, you know, maybe one a month or something. So it's like, you know, you get that stuff for free, and then, you know, maybe you just see a fucking Carlsberg logo, and that's all you know you have to do.
That's the thing people will kind of need to learn. Like, it's, if you want to see this person do more of what you enjoy seeing them do, you're going to have to look at the odd ad, and it's like, get the fuck over it, you know? And
as well, like, COVID, I think for a lot of, like, creative people or people who are on social media and stuff like that, going from anything, from musicians all the way to stand-ups or whatever, like, they'd be out in the world making their bread in other ways, but they can't right now. So everyone's forced at home. So it's actually... like, it's the one avenue of you know, making money that exists in this industry at the moment. So I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, be purist about it, I guess, before I even get into it.
You fucking sell out.
Yeah.
Joking. Right, on to a lighter note.
No, I did, I guess.
again, I'd say every podcast you've been on, you've been asked about I was listening to your podcast with Graham and Nathan. Very funny.
Oh yeah, they're good fun.
But I have it written down here. I presume you don't. But
no.
Your first sketch, we better give you some sort of context, even though I'll have already given you an intro, and everyone, of course, will know who you are. Jesus, relax, Killian. But the first sketch, according to you, that kind of went mini viral, as you called it, was Leo Varadkar. Back in the day when Leo was running the show, huh?
He still is, man. He's doing it behind the scenes.
Me old man's only a puppy. He's having a clue, man. But that was the video where Leo was basically saying,
in later phases, other workplaces, businesses, childcare, preschools, restaurant, cafes, bars, cinemas and gyms will reopen.
How does he do it? Other workplaces, restaurants, cars, preschools. Other workplaces, restaurant, bars, preschools, cafes, cinemas, cars, gyms and gyms. Other workplaces, restaurants, bars, preschools, cinemas, cafes, bars, cinemas and gyms
will reopen.
You're mocking me.
Other workplaces, I can't even say it, it's written there. Other workplaces, businesses, childcare, preschools, restaurants, cafes, cinemas and gyms. Bars.
You're missing bars. You're missing bars.
But you do it then. Go. Come on.
I'll give it a go. I honestly, like, I tell people, I think if you say it confidently enough, people believe you're doing.
Well, I have it written down here, so I won't believe you if you get it wrong.
I'm just getting in the zone. I have to get into my inner Leo Varadkar. God, I hate poor people. I hate poor people. I hate poor people. Okay.
Leo Varadkar here.
Okay, I'm Leo Varadkar. Other workplaces, businesses, okay, give me a second. Other workplaces, businesses, childcare, preschools, restaurants, cafes, bars, cinemas and gyms.
Clap, 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 clap.
Was that it?
Yeah.
I felt like I was missing something. Other workplaces, businesses, childcare, preschools, restaurants, cafes, bars, cinemas and gyms. Is that it?
Unbelievable. Perfect.
Oh
absolutely
my God.
Perfect.
Why am I fucking in the government? You know?
I don't know. You should run, man.
No, run away.
And then I didn't really write any notes for this, but I just wanted to quickly address how funny and obviously relevant to me it was with the takeaway pints thing. It was just like brilliant because I was so confused when I was dying for content, like I still am, but back when they brought in the takeaway pints and then they were taking them away, it was just I just wanted to say great sketch.
It was a visceral moment. Like, they took away the takeaways. It was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
And
I mean, like, you know, they have their reasons for doing everything, but I was just like, it was the only thing we had. Yeah. We were just standing in the cold, our hands getting like freezing, passing the pint from one hand to the other because your hand to get freezing cold holding it for a while.
One hand in the pocket.
Now it's gone. Yeah.
But like that, if you're writing that sketch, like the whole sketch is basically just to taking away takeaway points. Are you just turning on the phone or the camera or whatever and just being like, take away, and then just putting it over each other?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's different types of sketches, I guess, which I've done where some are actually just one joke, and you kind of somehow have to turn one joke into a whole sketch. And then some are like an actual, like there's a back and forth and there's many jokes and it's maybe an idea. The takeaway points was definitely it's one joke, it's a one line punchline kind of thing. But I was like, maybe I could just stretch it out because they can't understand each other. And that was how it came with, like, they're taking away the takeaway. And he's like, wait, what do you mean? They've already taken. So it was like some sort of, but it's actually just one joke. So it's like, I don't know. Does it deserve to be 1 minute long? Probably not. But
Killian, look, we're learning. This is what we're learning, and TikTok is really showing us this. That the simpler, the dumber, the least, the less effort that goes into a video, the more it gets. Like we're
can I ask you a question? And because I'm very interested to know which, you know, when you were doing all the mixing of the Guinness and then half of the Guinness and then some other drink, and it might be like apple juice and Guinness or whatever. What is the one that got most viewed? What one did people most watch on that?
Most viewed and genuinely the best, the most surprising and best one I found was the Guinness and cranberry juice. Tasted good, and it was one of the few times where I actually was smart about the TikTok, where it was probably the only time I ever kind of hopped on a trend. So that cranberry,
Okay.
not, I was going to say that cranberry juice song, the fucking Fleetwood Mac song. Sorry,
Oh
Stevie
yeah,
Nicks.
Dogface. Your man
Yeah,
drank the
so
ocean
that was
spray.
there was a basically
Oh yeah.
there was a guy skating down probably LA or something with drinking cranberry juice, and the song was playing, and a few people said to me, if you did Guinness and cranberry juice and played that song, it would do well.
Yeah.
I did it, and it did do well. It was like 2.5 million
Yeah.
views.
Okay.
is
Okay.
bizarre.
It's ridiculous. The numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm gonna get another can. We'll take 2
Okay.
seconds, but you can just leave the audio
yeah.
on or whatever.
Will do.
Right, I think we're going. Yeah.
Cool.
So, Killian, a question I wanted to ask you. So, you are, as we all know now, in the band The Sleaze. Would you rather play Vicar Street as Killersundy or as The Sleaze?
Yeah. God, that's a hell of a question. Like, automatically the Sleaze. Just, I think, like, I thought about it, but it was only like a selfish reason. But also, like, what would be more fun? I haven't done any kind of like stand up or sketch stuff live, so I'd be fucking nervous if I was doing it with like by myself standing up there. It'd be very scary. Whereas like the band would just be so fun. Like I love playing with the band live, so it'd just be good crack. Be amazing. Play Vicar Street. Like God, it'd be amazing.
You could just do you could do both. So basically the Sleaze opens for Killersundy and he just come back out. Well, it's actually the same guy. And then the Sleaze plays the halftime show, and then you just come out and talk shy for a bit longer.
Yeah.
But any plans for stand up or what's the crack like?
I'd say I will have to give it a go. I mean, I guess I've been on enough like podcasts and radio shows and said I'm going to give stand up a go, but I haven't. I mean,
Oh, you're sick of them, are you? You're sick of
No,
podcasts?
I mean, it's a question people ask you. They go,
right.
"Are you going to do stand up?" And I go, "Yeah," but I mean, I've never done it or anything. I'm trying to write things for it, and it's a different kind of. I don't know, medium. I guess.
Do you
like I'm
think-
able to? Yeah.
I was going to say, do you think there'll be a day where, like, do you know the likes of, let's say, the two Johnnies, like they're comedians, but they would do shows, but it wouldn't be really be stand up, so it'd be more like a podcast or something. Do you see a day maybe in 10 years or so where, maybe not 10 years, but the likes of stand up, the likes of your Tommy Tiernans, your Des Bishops, who came up in an age before social media, now people are getting, like yourself, like Tony Cantwell, are getting big on social media, and then all of a sudden you're a comedian. Do you think there'll be a day where stand up kind of dies off?
I'd say it'll definitely change. I don't think stand up will die off. I'd say it'll change in how it is. I'd say you'll probably end up seeing a lot more like comedy will probably be quite different. Like the way it works now is you kind of, you know, you go into comedy clubs and you learn through the scene, whereas the way it seems to be happening now is like it might happen in the future is that, you know, people get big online and then they start doing comedy, which means they kind of develop their own style of comedy outside of the system. So you might end up seeing like a big variety of different types of acts, you know, like I'd say, you know, Tony Cantwell's style of live comedy, he probably wouldn't have developed that if he'd gone up through the clubs and stuff like that, but because he was making his video and doing his characters and everything like that online and saw that worked with people, he kind of was able to develop into his live act. So I guess in the same way, like if I ever try stand up, I'll probably end up doing it more in my style, whereas if I'd started doing it like I don't know, if I started going to the Laughter Lounge or something like that, I probably would have copied what the people on stage were doing, but I'm not going to do that now. So you might see
like
you'd
have the likes of, you'd have say you had some 40-year-old, say you're playing, I don't know, the Sugar Club or whatever. Like my point is kind of that you're okay, Crow Park.
Thanks.
so like your first gig, let's just say, right, I don't know, end of this year, your first gig, Sugar Club or Liberty Hall or Vicar Street or fucking Crow Park, whatever. But your first gig, people are going to that and they're going for Killersundy. This guy, he's off TikTok, he's off Instagram, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
But for the likes of the old school guys, they had to come up through where they had to go on stage for 2 minutes, then 5 minutes, then 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Nobody knowing them. Do you think the resentment will ever boil over of these guys being like, you never had to do the grind that we did? And do you feel like you might, this is a very long question, do you feel like your stand-up comedy might lack something because you didn't have to go up on stage in front of people who didn't know who you were?
Well, I can't imagine, from what I understand about stand-up comedy, and I don't know very much about it, except like I watched a lot of it when I was younger, is that it's a craft, it's a skill. It's not like it's like music or whatever. It's like most creative things, that it's something that you work on and you get better at. So I can't imagine that that anyone starts like, you don't start running, you start like walking and then you get faster, and in that way I'd say like I will have to go through some sort of learning curve and learning process, and maybe they give me a big fucking first gig in the Sugar Club and everyone comes to it and goes, well, this guy doesn't fucking know what he's doing, and then like the next week I'm not going to be there, am I? I'm going to be in, I don't know where, like downstairs in Whelan's, maybe saying something for 2 minutes. So I mean, I guess you just learn by doing it a lot, and that's what I kind of have to buy into, I suppose. But I guess I don't know much about it, and I'm not allowing myself to think about it too much or get excited about it too much, because it's like, I don't know when the fuck it's going to be. Like, who knows when we're going to be able to do that again? It'll probably be the last thing. Stand-up comedy, it's like the last thing. It's not that
stand-up
essential.
comedy and like fucking concerts and shit. Right, Killian, yeah, I've said I don't want to keep it too long, so we're going to wrap it up there. That feels like it was about 10 seconds, so we're going to have to do this again in person, which we said we would.
Yeah, I can't wait.
If you want to plug anything, your socials, your band, your podcasts, go ahead there, Killian.
I guess
actually we're just out of time there.
No, I would like to plug the podcast. If anyone likes movies, listen to the MK Ultra Film podcast. And if you like rock music, listen to the Sleaze. They're all on Instagram. You can find them through my Instagram or whatever. Thanks for having me on, Dara. It was nice to have, a nice Friday evening. Or should I say what day it is?
Very well put, Killian. It was nice to have a nice Friday evening. Quote that.
I'm a writer. I write things.
That's the modern day comedian for you. Right, Killian. Yeah. So like you said, Killersundy. All over the socials, the Sleaze, Rockstar, and MK Ultra Film. If you want to hear Killian shiting on about movies,
damn right, with Mark.
Don't forget Mark. Justice for Mark. Right, Killian. I will talk to you soon. Thank you very much. All the best.
All right. Thanks, Dara.
Bye.
Cool. I'll stop recording.
And that's a wrap, lads, on episode 6 of Only Cans. I've been your host, Dara Curran, aka the Guinness Guru. Massive thanks to Killian. What a cunt, like I said at the start. Like ass cunt altogether. And like we said, or did we say it? I'm recording this a few days after I filmed that, so can't remember if I said it. But I did say at some stage, whether the camera was on or off, that we got to do it. I've said it to all the guests that I've done over Zoom, which has been a total of 2 so far. I got to do it again in person. Zoom is grand, but it's called Only Cans. I want to have a big bag of cans with these people. So Killian, gals, I will definitely be getting them back. Any future guests I have on Zoom, I'm gonna write it into a contract that we don't even make, that I'm gonna get them back in person. So Killian, you're a cunt. I had a great time, and lads, again, if you're enjoying the podcast and you want some more, how do you know? Patreon.com/Dara. Patreon.com/The Guinness Guru for extra cans podcasts, 15% off merch when it comes, $5 a month, bloody fucking blah, bruv. See you, lads.